Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to Get Hit with the Truth. So today I want to do the what's next on former 4 Division World Champion Mikey Garcia, coming off of a tough decision loss, 10-round majority decision loss to Sandor Martin when they competed in the main event of a DAZN card on Saturday, October 16th. You know, Mikey tried in this fight, but it looked like he really was just unprepared. It looked like he was overlooking Martin and was expecting a easier fight, and Martin just did not provide that. His southpaw style, catching Mikey as Mikey was coming in, just seemed to frustrate Mikey, and Mikey just couldn't figure it out. It wasn't a blowout, though. It was somewhat of a close fight, but I felt like Martin was the deserving winner, and Mikey, tough loss, only the second of his career. He just said, hey, it happens. It is what it is. He said rematch is possible, but it looks like he's leaning towards possibly getting, 1 or 2 fights in before a rematch. He says he wants to move back down to 140 officially, so I'm ranking him at 140. I think that's a better fit for him anyways, if he can make the weight. He says he can make the weight, and that's where he wants to compete. So I think Mikey should do that. There's more opportunities and fights there. And I'm looking forward to seeing a Mikey move back down to 140. So officially now I'm going to rank him at 140 pounds. It was a tough loss, but I think Mikey will bounce back for sure and be more effective at 140 pounds. But the big question now coming off this loss is what's next for Mikey Garcia. So we're going to run him through the top 10 and see what he could possibly be doing in his next bout. So we start with number 1, the undefeated and undisputed junior welterweight champion, Josh Taylor. Not seeing this one. Taylor would probably take the fight in a heartbeat, but Mikey's probably going to want to come back sometimes in the next 4 or 5 months, and Taylor's going to be competing in February, late February, defending his undisputed title against Jack Catterall. So I don't think the Mikey Garcia fight would be there. Plus, I don't think it's juicy enough for these two guys. Mikey coming off a loss, he's going to want to come back. He's going to want to extract some revenge, get in line, something like that, before he takes on another slick southpaw like a Josh Taylor. So not seeing this one. Number 2 is former unified world champion Jose Ramirez. Both these guys now are coming off of losses, and I just don't see it next because I think the possibility of this fight would be tough anyways, considering Ramirez is with Top Rank. Mikey doesn't like to work with Top Rank, so unless he has to work with them, I don't see this fight being possible. But both guys are coming off of losses anyways, so I'm not seeing it next. Number 3, former world champion Regis Prograis. Love the fight, but I don't think it's possible. I don't think Prograis really. He was pissed. His Twitter account, he said, fuck after Martin beat Mikey Garcia because the fight was possible. I think the fight still could be possible next, but are these guys, is Prograis so desperate that he would take on Mikey next coming off of a loss? I don't think he should do that. I love Regis Prograis. I think he's a great fighter. I think he's going to be a world champ again. And I can't knock him if he takes a Mikey Garcia fight next. And I can't knock Mikey, but to what end? What is it going to prove right now when Mikey's coming off of a loss? Let's build towards that fight, is my opinion. So I'm leaning towards the no, especially does Mikey want to take a risk against a hard-hitting southpaw like Prograis coming off of a loss to Sandor Martin? He already lost to Errol Spence, another southpaw, a couple years ago. I'm just not seeing this one next for Mikey, so I'm going to say no. Number 4, Jose Cepeda. Another slick southpaw. Cepeda's fighting at the end of this month. Is this a fight Mikey wants next? Well, 1, he'd have to work with Top Rank. He's not going to want to do that. And 2, I don't think he wants to fight a southpaw anyways. I'm going to say no to this one. Number 5 is Victor Postal. Now, I like this fight right here. I think Mikey really wants to get in there and fight world-class competition. Somebody that stylistically matches up well against him, and he could really kind of push himself forward into the top 5 quickly. Victor Postal is your guy. But does Mikey want to take a risk against a guy like that in his next fight coming off of a loss? I'm leaning towards the no, but I would love to see the fight. Number 6, Sandor Martin in a rematch. Martin would probably be down for the rematch. Mikey's got to want it. I think Mikey's pretty much, in a roundabout way, has made it clear that he wants to probably get 1 or 2 fights in. He said, hey, I want to go back down to 140, maybe 1 or 2 more fights before we rematch, something like that. He said, if I win a world title, maybe I'll give him the rematch. If he wins a world title, maybe he'll give me the opportunity in a rematch. So, we'll see. I like the matchup, though, and I don't mind what Mikey's talking about and where he's going with it. But a rematch definitely is on the table because that loss just happened. Mikey might say, hey, I do want to fight him actually next. I want to get my revenge now. So we'll see what happens. Number 8, I said Mikey was number 7. Number 8 is WBA regular champion Javonte Davis. Now, Davis is fighting Rolando Romero at 135 next, but he still holds a belt at 140 for the time being. If Davis decided to stay at 140, could he fight Mikey Garcia next? Would Mikey want that? I think Mikey would go for it if the fight was on the table. I think it makes sense money-wise. And Davis is trying to prove himself. Maybe Davis thinks, hey, I got an in on Mikey now. I can beat him. And maybe Mikey would be like, hey, I'm down. Let's do this. But I don't know. For some reason, I feel the less likely of this fight. But you never know. It could be possible. Maybe Javonte would be willing to take the risk. Number 9 is Robert Easter Jr. Mikey's already fought him at 135, and he soundly beat him. He does not need to fight him again. It really wouldn't mean much to him to beat him again, so I'm going to say no. And then finally, at number 10 in this division is Jose Pedraza. One that I wouldn't mind seeing. I think it would make sense, but Mikey would have to work with Top Rank, and right now I don't see him doing that. So that's it. That's what possibly could be next for Mikey Garcia coming off the loss to Sandor Martin. To be honest with you, I'm not sure he gets a top 10 guy next. I think it's more likely he's going to take a guy he can smash on real quick, probably come back first quarter of next year, get that win out of the way, and shake it off. That way he can build up towards possibly another one towards the middle of the year, and then load up for a bigger fight, possibly a rematch with Sandor Martin later on in the year of next year. But I think if he fights anybody in the top 10 next, the most likely fighter would be a rematch with Sandor Martin. So that's it. That's the what's next on Mikey Garcia coming off that tough decision loss to Sandor Martin. I hope you guys enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.